Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us for this webinar presented by Pet Store Pro and Global Pet Expo. Lynn will be with you shortly. We'll be going over using social media as a sales tool for your pet business in just a few minutes, so stick around. And when you see Lynn, we'll be ready to go. Thanks.
Good morning, everyone. I am Celeste Powers, President of PIDA. On behalf of PIDA and APPA, the sponsors of Global Pet Expo, welcome to today's webinar, Using Social Media as a Sales Tool for Your Pet Business. This is the second in a series of 4 webinars to help you navigate in these unprecedented times. As a reminder, all of our webinars are recorded and archived to re-listen or share with your staff. You can access all webinars, including this one, under Seminars tab at globalpetexpo.org. Last week's webinar had more than 85 views in less than a week. That was extraordinary. So let me add a welcome to all of you that are listening to the recording. PIDA and APPA continue to diligently work on COVID-19 issues on behalf of everyone in the pet industry supply chain. Please visit our websites at pida.org and americanpetproducts.org and view all of the great information and resources under the COVID-19 tabs. Lastly, don't forget you can access all of the free training on Pet Store Pro 24/7 at petstorepro.com. Now to the good stuff. Today's presenter, Lynn Switnowski, truly needs no introduction. And I know I say that every time, but that's the truth. She has been a featured speaker at Global Pet Expo for over a decade, providing insight on hot topics from customer loyalty to social media, just like she's talking about today. So without further ado, take it away, Lynn.
Thanks, Celeste. I appreciate it. Okay, everybody. In this, as Celeste called, unprecedented times, I wanted to make it feel as comfortable as possible. Good morning, everybody. It is morning everywhere, except if you're in Australia watching us. Maybe then it's the middle of the day. But I want to make sure that you all know we are here, we are live people, and while our lives are changed from just a month ago when we were all together at Global Pet Expo. This hasn't changed. It's still me. I got dressed for you all today. I have makeup on today. I got my work outfit on, and I was telling the group before we started, this may be how I present to you for a little bit, and that's okay. I want you to know that we are here talking about your pet business in the same way as if we were sitting in the same room together, and that hopefully you find this tool to be helpful for your business as we move forward into April and May and the rest of the year. So I'm going to shut the camera off. I'll be back midway, but I wanted you guys to see I'm a real live person. I'm sitting in my house. Some of you might be in your stores. I'm a little jealous, but we're doing the best we can and we're all in this together. All right, so without further ado, today we're going to talk about using social media as a sales tool for your pet business. And if I could take a minute, as Celeste said, there are great ways to get this. She gave you number 3, the globalpetexpo.org under the seminars tab. Best of all, this platform we use has a section that's called handouts. You can click on it right now and follow along, get the crib notes, make notes in the side column. You can download the presentation. They have a GoToWebinar channel, and you can look for the gotowebinar.com, the Global Pet Expo channel. And lastly, if you forget all of that, you could email me, you could email the folks at Global Pet Expo. There's lots of different tools. The key is this information is critical. As Celeste said, the replay is available in the library. It's not meant to be a one-time thing. It is meant to be an ongoing learning tool for you. So please feel free to share. If somebody can't make the webinar today, you'll get a link right after this to the recording. And you can also follow it on these sites. So the idea is information. Celeste talked to you about who I am. So again, just another picture. I showed you the other one. All right, so let's get into it here. We're going to go till 12. I'm going to leave, just so you know how the flow is going to go. I left time at the end for questions, and please, there is a question box. Type your questions as we go along. We'll try and answer them midway if we can. If not, we'll be at the end. We'll save time for questions as well. So let's get to talking about consumers. So we're here talking about social media as a sales tool, but what I really want to talk about is in a very short time. This survey was done February 28th, the last of February of this year. And it was already asking consumers, people that walk in your front doors, if they are going to currently avoid or will avoid in the future shopping, public transportation. And I think, as you all are probably seeing personally, is a very good reason that we are physical distancing, social distancing. I know your stores, and we're going to talk about it, are doing everything you can, because you're essential businesses, to maintain cleanliness and safety in the store. You'll continue to do that. I know you will. What I want to point out is the long-term effects may not be anything you have done. You go down to shopping in general. It's the consumer that will feel scared to do shopping. Maybe it'll be a reaction. Maybe it'll be 3 months. Maybe there will be customers who find it more convenient in their very busy life to not go shopping, and that their favorite stores, like your pet store, is absolutely going to be easy to shop at via a social channel. So I want you to keep in mind, it may not be you. It may not be that your customers don't like you. It may be that some of them are avoiding it because they're scared, and that'll take a while to get over, and then they'll be back. And then there could be a good chunk of people that say, I really like this. I'm a busy mom. I've got kids in school. I've got errands to run, yes, but if I can have more free time for myself and my favorite pet store will bring me what I need from them, I'm going to choose that tool. So I hope that you will think about that as we go through this. I have said this to this audience before. It is nothing that you have done. It is absolutely something that you need to think about for the future. My camera seems to be clicking on and off. So hi again. I'm going to try and click it off here. so we can keep going here. Someone tell me if they can see me from now on. Okay, so let's talk about why it's easier. Let's talk about right now what's going on, mobile, and whether that's mobile shopping or mobile using. We are connecting on a webinar for sure, so we're getting information. On the other hand, family and friends are connecting. Maybe you've been doing a watch party with your friends and family. Maybe you're checking in on your elderly parent. Maybe you're using different apps than you used to use before because it's easy. I just deposited a check in the bank. I'm in Florida now, and I had like, a check that I needed to deposit, and I used a mobile app, took a picture of my check, sent, and it got deposited into my business account in Massachusetts. So I'm using mobile banking. I'm using mobile payments. I'm using mobile shopping. I am using different tools now. So ask yourself, what are you, what are you doing to connect differently than than in the past? And again, this isn't per se about you, but think about your customers. If they're connecting with their family and friends and becoming comfortable with watch parties, comfortable with using, this webinar platform where we can all see each other, will that translate to large groups of people using mobile as a social tool? And then frankly, as they become more comfortable with it, using it as more of a shopping tool. And many of you would say in the past, it was generational, and now I'm challenging us all to say it's not generational. Currently, it's due to circumstances, but it could be after this time, that after the COVID time, that it's due to convenience. So that's my gentle way of taking today's situation and saying it's forcing us to look at things that potentially we should have looked at before, understanding that consumers are changing, consumers are using different tools. Now it is a necessity. And some of you may choose it's still not a necessity for you. But to me, I can't help but urge you that from a business perspective, I think it's a necessity because your customers are going to be trained down the road to act differently. So for those of you that need a general description, what is social commerce, which is really what we're talking about, selling via your social media, is called social commerce. You'll also hear it comes from social e-commerce, right? Electronic commerce. You'll also hear it termed SCOM. In some cases, short jargon SC, but mostly you'll hear SCOM or social commerce. And what it is using social media as a channel to purchase directly from your business's newsfeed from your sites. And again, why? Functionality and ease. Right now, I would say we're in the functionality piece of it for sure. We are going to get into the ease piece of it, like I talked about earlier. So keep that in mind as we think about what do we need to do in terms of meeting our customers. I am the marketing person in this conversation, reminding you that your job as a pet store, as a business owner, if I met you, face to face, we were sitting there, and we are today, right? This is our new face to face. We know that people use your pet store to solve problems. So now the question is, how do you solve problems for them in the way that they have today? You solve their pet needs, and keeping in mind, part of your job as a business is to make it easy for your customers to shop, and social commerce will be an avenue to make it an easier tool to shop. I highlighted here, obviously when I say why it matters, obviously people are using social media. The piece here, and I writing this presentation to keep it in mind, it thrives on community. And I want to make sure you all understand, we are one community in the world right now, right? We're all going through COVID. We're all dealing with this. However, you have at the most basic level, you have a community of users who absolutely love your pet business. They can't wait to come in and see you. They can't wait to buy from you. Their pets love the products you sell. They love the service they get. They love the education they get, the information, the smiling faces. Maybe there's a shop dog or cat, right? Community. You have a community of people who are attached to your business. Congratulations to all of you. You have built that over time. But I want to make sure you hear me say that community is still there. You know, some of you, most of you in states where most pet businesses have been deemed essential. So the good news is, right, that people still can come in the front door. You can still provide that physical sense of community. But if something changes, you still have a community. And I want to make sure that you, in everything we talk about today, the best parts of your business, and I've said it for the last 5 years, whenever I talk about social media, a perfect social media page, perfection obviously is, you know, relative, but the reason that your posts get a lot of attention, the reason that you have a good connection with your audience, that's what I call perfection, is when you're the most authentic and when you're the most real and when you share highlights and lowlights and real, you know, community information. You know, one of my clients won, pet business up in Canada, won an award. And I said to her, she's not social on social in any big way, and she hates to put herself on video. And I said, you have to. You want to thank people for the award. You want to tell them you appreciate them. You want to tell them that you're grateful that they're part of your business. You have to do that face to face. So she put a video up, and she sent me a note. I wrote her a script, and I said, here you go. She put it up last night. And she wrote me a note. She's like, okay, it's up, you know. P.S. In 3 hours, it got 500 likes, not just share, not views, likes. And I wrote her back and I said, there's your community right there. They love you. Her doors are actually closed because she does boarding and daycare. So people can't see her, but her community responded to her good news. So I tell you that story because you have a community who love you. If I could just get you to stop there and say, okay, these people love me. Now I have to share the best of who we are online via my social media and be strategic now to say, you have that capability. You can share that same information that you, other than a handshake when they walk in your front door, everything else you can share with them. The eye-to-eye contact, that's why I showed you my face at the beginning. I want you to see I'm looking at you. I know it's through a computer screen, but it's real. Can you talk the same way to your community, right? You should be talking the same way. Now keep that community mindset as we go through this conversation, and let's talk about how to do that, what platforms to use, and then what information we're going to share. But if you have a piece of paper here, write down in your mind or write a note to yourself. Write down the 5 to 10 best things about your business. Write your favorite things that you get to do with your customers. Start there. What are the favorite things that my staff? Ask your staff. Maybe they have different answers than you. What is the best thing we get to do about our customers? That's why your community loves you. Those things right there. Now figure out a way to communicate those in this time of COVID. It's a fast and furious. There's no time for practice, right? You got to get right into it because you want to make the sales, which is where we're going. But you will find at the end of the day, if you can become proficient at communicating the best of who you are, the best of what you do to your community, your social sites will become just another communication tool, just like your front door is a way that you can communicate because they walk in your front door and you get to tell them or do ... So start there. Does that make sense to everybody? How are we doing here? I'm looking to see if we have any questions so far. Nope, looks like everybody's with me. Don't forget, you can use the question section, ask me a question, we'll answer as we go. I just want to remind you, if you're all sitting here saying, okay, I need to do this, but it's not my customers, that is not true. Gen Z, yes, 14 to 24. Usually those are the college kids who now have pets, different than when I was in college, right? Maybe when you were but that's a real big customer base, and obviously they're very proficient in how they use this. This is a fashion purchase, but we can extrapolate it to how they're shopping and what they're using and how they're comfortable and what's, in what ways are they comfortable shopping. Millennials, Gen X, and look at the ages here, boomers, right? 30% of boomers, almost 30, are buying clothes online. So imagine, right? And now the question is, if I'm going to buy comfortable enough to buy clothes for myself, I can buy products for my pet. So here's another tool. You got this community that we're talking about here. And how do we think about your social media as a window display and not a mannequin? And the window display mindset is what? Hopefully you have front windows to your store, to your business. How often do you change those windows? Are you doing new things, right? How do you inspire, engage people in your to come in from the street to your business? Maybe you share those photos as you change the displays online, the windows, the displays in store. Think of it as a window display. Your goal is to bring the audience into the store, not just to buy your products, right? But to create this sense and what is going on with the community. All that being said, a display window via your social media. Go back and look at your social media posts so far. Are they interactive or are they one-sided? You're talking, sending a message to your customers, and not asking them questions, not taking polls, not giving them fun contests, not giving them fun things to do. In this time, I've been seeing a ton of great content from some pet stores who are doing WFM, right? That's the new hashtag WFM, work from home. Run a contest. Does your pet's working from home? I've seen dialogues around pets being annoyed that parents are home, right? Can you create a small video of a pet talking to on your pages? Boy, I don't really like it when mom and dad are home. I'm going to go order from ... I'm going to go talk to my friends at your store. Social media is a window display that needs to be changed often, that needs to be inspiring, and is not static. Think of a mannequin as static. Think of a window display as constantly changing. Let's start with the basics. You're going into April. If life was normal, what would be important to your business? What products would be important to your business for the month of April? Are we back into flea and tick season? Do we need washing? Right? The only thing they can do is be outside and, go for a walk now. Is that more critical than ever? That the products that you talk about for the safety of pets, are pets stressed out right now? Do you sell, supplements that would help relieve anxiety for pets because there's all this home activity now? I'm just trying to get you to think. I'm not looking for you to just create a pretty window display, all the time. Sometimes, yes, fun, engaging, but it's also that social media is a window display, as in what products are important to your business in this time of year, in this month, and for the pets. You will get lots of credit from your community for guiding them, right? Somebody walks in the store today, they're buying a new puppy. You know what to do. Go down the puppy aisle, a new kitty, right? You know what to do. Here's the setup, here's what you need, here's what's going to happen. You don't even know it yet because you've never had a cat or a dog or a fish. Here's what is going to happen. We're experts. This is what you're going to need. Here's why you're going to need it. That same conversation on your social media pages. Displays, interactive, leading to selling. So start with your community. What do they need? Start with your business. What's important to it this time of year? And then we'll look to communicate that. If I sat, down with you and we were planning your marketing, and again, when I say sit down, I work with a lot of my clients virtually because I'm in Boston, sometimes I'm in Florida, and I meet you guys are around the country. So I talk to a lot of people virtually, and when we sit down and start a planning session on marketing content, the first thing I ask is what's important to your business in this month? What kind of events and activities have you done before? Maybe there's a big event that you do every year in April or May that is going to be canceled. And people are going to be sad because it's a fun event. Yeah, it drives a lot of sales for you. Can you turn any part of that into a virtual event to create the feel of it? Can you communicate to your customers that you are moving it to another time of the year to rest assured? Can you make them smile by showing your community pictures of the event last year and saying, we will be back to this, assuring them that you're still going to be around, that the event is still going to happen? So those are the things you need to anticipate. That's probably a good word as well. From a social media perspective, and how do you communicate that? What's important and what do you need to show? So now I want to talk about, this is where we get into specifics by site. I don't know what communities you're all using today effectively on social media, but I'm going to go and talk about I'm going to talk about 5 of them and how you can promote it via those pages. So I'm assuming you're all using Facebook, right? So totally right now, and you all know that Facebook, right, is owned by, or Facebook also owns Instagram. So Instagram is taking off fast and furiously, but as of last year, Facebook accounted for 64% of total social revenue. And that is because they have something built called a Facebook shop. I'll talk about that in a second. Facebook is actually driving people for your business through Facebook to buy products. So that would be a good tool to do social selling. And we'll talk about how you set that up in a minute. Again, Facebook wants to keep people on their pages. So they've created a platform that says, hey, here, we're going to give you everything. You run the posts in your news feed, you run stories across the Facebook stories. We'll set up a Facebook shop. We will help you do everything you need to do to sell. Obviously, we'll do advertising as well, which will help you promote your pages, help you promote your shops. Okay, but you all have Facebook. Ask yourself right now how you're using Facebook. And then let's talk about how to maximize that from a sales perspective. I sincerely believe if you were to invest money in what I call a social media salesperson, many of you may not have goals set up by salespeople, but if I was to say to you in any other year right now, maybe the second half of the year, your business is going to grow 10% or whatever number it is that you deemed that you would need a new salesperson, right? You would say, oh my gosh, the store's so busy, I have to hire somebody new to do register, to help with customers. It's time, we need more hands on deck. You have that in your head. You know when that's meant to happen. You know what it feels like in the store. I would like you all to sit in a quiet space and ask yourself, how much sales do you expect that new person to bring in? Do you have a number? And if so, if there are physically less people walking in the front door and more people are shopping with you online, would it behoove you in your pet business to set up a social media salesperson with the same revenue goals, intent? Okay, I'm picking some numbers here. A new salesperson should deliver or help me improve my sales. I have 6 salespeople. I do $600,000 a year. Each salesperson is responsible for $100,000 in sales. I'm just being generic here. Take the numbers for your store. Take the number of salespeople divided by your total sales, and you'll get an idea of what each one brings in. As we go through this, starting with Facebook, then we go to Instagram, all the other platforms that are possible. What if you said, I need a social media salesperson, and they were responsible for using our social media content to deliver the same value of sales? And that was their job. Yes, they needed to know about pets and products, but they needed to put content out to help generate sales. That might be where we're going. What's going to happen if less customers come in your store? That first slide I showed, if less customers come in your store, not because they don't love you, but because they're not comfortable or they found an easier way to shop. How is the local independent favorite best products pet store going to help meet those customers' needs? And having somebody, just like the register, being staffed every minute that the doors are open, is your social media staffed to do sales. That might seem extreme. And by the way, a month ago when I talked about it, I can promise you there were faces in the room who were like, absolutely no way possible. None of us could have ever imagined that the reality would come as fast and as, you know, dangerously as it has. But this is sort of a new mindset, and I'm urging you to think that way. So let's continue talking about Facebook. I am telling you all right now, I have clients that are fast and furiously trying to put together Shopify e-commerce stores. Yes, that's great. But Facebook has a tool inside it. You can create a Facebook shop, or you can use Facebook Messenger to sell as well. So there are tools within Facebook, and it literally is this simple. You can use pre-created templates. You can create one of your own with your, obviously you customize it to put your logo if you want to put your colors on. You see this particular shop, there's categories here. This happens to be toys. You can set up, we'll talk about categories you might want to carry, but toys, treats, foods, supplements, right? And then you go through, and this is where you get your manufacturers to help you. Do they have images available? My answer is probably many of them have, whether it's distributors or your manufacturers directly, have some sort of digital catalog. Can you take those images from a digital catalog and use them on your Facebook page? It's as simple as setting it up. You want to set it up through Business Manager or Commerce Manager, just because you'll get a lot more analytics. But again, it is this simple. You click on this, save this, go through it. You can set up the shop in these 4 steps. Upload products. I want you to have as many as you feel comfortable with. But again, go back to what's important. If I was to say, how do I do it today? What are the top 15 to 20 items right now? And look, go back to the month of March. What were your top selling 15 to 20 items? Can those be translated to your Facebook shop? I think the answer could be yes. Now start to layer on. Oh, I'd like to put this up there. Oh, I got some new products in. Oh, people have been asking me for this and I finally got it in. We were back ordered, so I didn't put it on there, but I got my order in. You can use it as a core base, whether it's 15 to 20. Maybe you're feeling inspired and put 50 to start with, but don't make it static. Remember that window display concept? When you build, when you add new categories, share the news with your customers. We have added 30 new products. Make it a game. Go on our Facebook pages. We have a special prize on one of our Facebook shop pages. Find the prize, comment here, tell us where it is, take a screenshot of it, create some fun. But again, the biggest problem when people build traditional websites is they tell me all the time, I spend all this money on my website and nobody goes there. This is not one of those cases. If you build it, they don't know it's there unless you tell them. So I always get around, if you build it, they will come. No, you actually have to tell them that you built it. So start with 15 to 20, build upon it, continue to share that news with your customers, and use ads to promote it, products. Work with your, whether it's distributors, work with your manufacturers, ask for some, co-op money, run a product of the week. Ask for, just like you would ask for a shelf, an end cap, display, and run a promo. Run a Facebook shop promo. Tell your customers that you are doing business in these categories. We talked last week about how to deliver that, whether that's curbside, whether that's home free shipping, whether that's home delivery on someone's porch. So there's lots, whether they come into your store, buy it online, pick it up in store. It's all packed and ready to go. So there's lots of delivery options, but getting them to purchase directly via your Facebook shop, you just have to lead them there. So what are those, what I call most needed now items? And that's why I said go back and take a look at March. What sold in March? Those are what I'm thinking, as people start to kind of get into their, what I call new normal. Maybe they hoarded, what do you call it? If they hoarded food, maybe they don't need anything this month and you're seeing an artificial spike. But if not, what can you sell them on a regular basis? Was it foods? Okay, what are my most important foods in each category? Was it supplements? Was it treats? Things that customers, whether they feel good. Maybe it's toys to make them, laugh. Maybe there's some technology products, GPS, dogs, being outside more. But again, what is most needed now for your customers? And then I am, as you all know me, I'm a very positive person and say, okay, if you do this well, and if your social media pages really do become this window display and you're doing ads around key zip codes where you live, and using keywords like pets, whether it's cats, dogs, birds, fish, right? Can you promote ads and could you possibly meet new customers? And the answer I really believe is yes, you can. The key with meeting new customers is a little differently than that community we talked about before. When somebody comes into your business, they will see, hopefully, via your social media pages, what your community is about, how helpful you are, how caring you are, the products that you carry. Yes, how you talk about those products is the key. Features and benefits. Don't make assumptions that everybody knows everything about them. But it's a chance to meet new people who, by the way, are looking for a new way to get pet food. And I know you all know this, unless you have a pet, sometimes you don't even know there's a pet store in town. And, if you only order on Amazon because you have a Prime, a Prime membership, and it's just easier to order all your pet products online, and all of a sudden Amazon's out because they're back ordered on these things, you now have a chance to meet a new customer. And certainly your current customers who know you and love you already. But again, what do you look like? How can you reach in this, which is what I call display, window display? How do you communicate the features and benefits of the products? How do you show the value? And my words for value in this time, especially as everybody is worried about themselves, which is fine. Health is a big word. Well-being, enhanced levels of satisfaction. Keep in mind, those things are for both pets and their parents. If I am stressed about personally, right, Lynn, stressed about her own life, health, scared, whatever you want to call it, I have a dog, I worry about him, right? I'm worried about him. Good news is, right, they say dogs, pets can't catch it, but that doesn't mean I'm not stressed. He sees me stressed, maybe he gets stressed. So think about, how do you communicate health, well-being, enhanced satisfaction? Satisfaction for today's customer could be, I am happy to know that my pet is taken care of in today's crazy time. My pet will not run out of food. My pet will not run out of, treats, supplements, whatever I need. And that, therefore, makes me feel better. So it's a value proposition. It always has been. Again, you've been able to deliver that value proposition when the customer walks into the front door. Your front door is now your social media, and you are now using social media to convert that customer to a purchaser. Absolutely. I know it feels, for some of you, foreign. It's the same process. I need to meet new customers. I need to tell them what I do and why I'm the best at it. I need to show them, get their trust. Then I need to sell them based on the fact that they trust me. And here's how I'm going to sell them, via my social media pages, as opposed to walking in the front door. So it's not.
I wanted to pop in with a question.
Yeah, sure. Thanks.
So we had a question. Can you create one of the Facebook shops if you don't have inventory? While we're on the subject of these Facebook shops, before we move on, they are a kennel and daycare and don't currently carry any inventory. So is it possible to create some sort of online platform for a service provider?
Great question. And the answer is yes. Again, what is your community value? So you provide daycare and boarding services. So what do you sell? You sell a daily pass. You sell a multi-pass. You sell, an overnight boarding, booking for vacation. You sell scheduling. When I say sell scheduling, right? So you sell appointments. Maybe there's only X amount of spots. You know what I mean? You can absolutely think of it as my customer can have a transaction with my business. Let's take this example. How do they currently communicate with you about booking a spot at the kennel or for daycare? And if the answer is it's a call, then how do I convert that call to an online, to a Facebook shop? Instead of calling, hey, did you know you can buy daycare in advance. You can buy a 2-pack, 5-pack. You can schedule this. So some of it is I'm selling the actual spots that I'm selling. And maybe there are a few products that you sell. Maybe there is a daycare or a kennel overnight spot that they sell. And maybe it's I want to add, and things like, at my daycare or my kennel for my dog, I can get Cooper a Kong every night, and I can put that into my Facebook shop. I can do cuddles, story time. These are the add-ons that I could put. Imagine having a page that says, kennel, and very powerfully, you have this page that is full of all these unbelievable add-ons that the pet can have while they're boarding with you. It's no different for sure than anything they could get had they called you and you said on the phone to them, oh, do you want to order a Kong? Oh, do you want to order a frozen treat? Or do you want an extra walk or pets? Do you want a TV room? Of course, you're asking those questions. But now a brand new customer who clicks on your Facebook shop and sees all the options says, I can't wait to take my dog here. So I see it as a very powerful selling tool. Again, features and benefits. I never knew, I never needed your kennel or daycare before because I didn't have a pet, or I, didn't need to go away, or I just moved into this town. Now they click on your Facebook shop and they see all the options for add-ons, services that can happen while they're at your store. So I see it as a very powerful tool no matter what part of the business you're in. Hopefully that helps. All right, I'm going to keep going here. Let's move on to my friend Instagram. So,
Lynn, before you move on, can we take a couple more questions?
how about one more, and then we'll save the second one to the end, because Instagram is a fun tool and I want to make sure to be able to spend time on it. So go ahead.
Great. So we'll do a quick question here. The question was, how can we get hooked up with a drop shipping style company? So is it possible to use a drop shipper to fulfill orders through a Facebook shop?
So a specific drop shipper, I think, could be an individual manufacturer. So if there's a certain product that's where I would start. The other question is, and I can't speak to every distributor, and maybe there's a distributor on the call here that could chime in here, but I'm wondering if some distributor could help you set up multiple, because they obviously carry a lot of products at one given time and have you. Not sure if they're going to be able to set that up, or maybe it already exists. The key with a drop shipper, let me just make sure. I love the idea because then you don't own the inventory. You have distributors that really do hold your inventory for you, most of you these days. So I think in essence, they could be considered for that process. But keep in mind, if you use a specific one product and it's a drop shipper, you want to make sure that you have personal business branding, because it's essentially the customer is buying it from you, and you want to make sure that you deliver that service all the way through to the end. So if you use a drop shipper and it doesn't have your logo on it, and the package comes from a strange third party who they have no idea who it is or what it is, A, do they even open the package other than maybe they're expecting it? B, does the package come half broken? Does the product become broken inside, and therefore that actually doesn't reflect on the third party? It actually reflects on your store. So when you use a drop shipper, you want it to be your return address. You want it to be your logo on the invoicing, any kind of internal offers, bounce back coupons, information, thanks for shopping. You want it to be branded from your business. Because again, the customer purchased from you. They didn't know that you outsourced. Their intention wasn't to buy from a third party. So you have to keep in mind that the process looks exactly the same as if it was coming directly from you. Okay. And whoever asked that question, I'm happy to continue that dialogue. Please reach out to me and I'm happy to extrapolate on that. So let's talk about Instagram. Most of you, when I work with you, I get a lot of updates that you're moving forward with Instagram, and this is a huge, powerful selling tool. I mentioned that 64% is going through Facebook. That's just because Facebook owns the shop between people being able to link directly from their Instagram to their Facebook shop, between people setting up Instagram Shopify shops. I'm very sure that Instagram will outperform Facebook e-commerce relatively quickly. It might not be a year, but I fully expect that Instagram will become the best because they're really, really good at it. There are 3 ways today, and there's a 4th one coming. So let me share with you what they are. First of all, you see the products here. I picked pages. I wish I had more pet examples to give you, but I don't. So let's make this our window display. You can tag all kinds of products. You can lead them back to your Facebook page to buy. That's the key here. So when I talk about social commerce on Instagram, it's not you, it's you putting together a picture and then tagging specific products that your customer can then make the purchase for. So there are 3 ways to do it. The first one is a shoppable post. So a post is obviously a static post. We're in the pet business, and this happens to be for the sheets. So the sheet manufacturer knows that pets are a big selling feature. In my world, talking to you guys, we're the pet business. We need to be doing these kinds of posts, selling our pet products. But this is how you do it, right? You get a storefront, you create a product, you link it. Again, you can set up a Shopify page if you have a easy to do, or you can set up a Facebook shop. So one of 2 ways to set up Instagram shopping. And then you can link anything you want. Here they're linking the sheets, see more details, make the purchase. It's all through, these are through your posts. So when you're scrolling Instagram, it would be seeing an Instagram post and it would be shoppable to buy. Again, the key, direct link to your website or what they're calling an in-platform shopping tool. That's the Shopify, that's the Facebook shop. So shoppable post is one way on Instagram. The second is a shoppable story. And if you're not using Instagram stories, I'm going to talk about ways to create stories. It is essentially that. It's telling a story. And just like a post, it's not just like a post, it stays for 24 hours. So there is a call to action, there's a sense of urgency, but the story is at the top of the feed, and it's also very, very interesting. So again, that display window that we talked about before becomes a display story. You can link 3 pictures, 3 videos, 5, 10. I had someone the other day, and it was too many, but they had 28 individual videos attached to one story. It lasts for 24 hours, and then it goes away. So your customers have to create a sense of urgency, but it's also fun and it's engaging. And the other key is if you know Instagram at all, what you see are the stories are at the top of the Instagram feed. So it gets your pet business noticed first. So instead of scrolling for 20 minutes, and by the way, people get lost in this today, but they swipe across the top into stories. So all these stories, just like those posts before, can be tagged with product and linked to a shopping page. And the key is people are used to shopping on Instagram. It has been from the beginning a little bit easier to shop, although lower numbers than Facebook, but people get lost in Instagram and stay there. So they're trying to keep people on the pages. The third way, and if you want to keep it simple, is you create a post on Instagram and you tell people where to go to buy it. And that is by using the hashtag link in bio. So When somebody sees that, and again, maybe more sophisticated than you are with Instagram, when an Instagram user sees the hashtag link in bio, what it says is go to the bio of the page you're on, and there will be a link that I can click on to buy this product that I'm seeing. It is a universal sign. Like 10 years ago, those of us that are old enough was like hashtag, that's the number sign, right? Now when you use the hashtag, we know exactly what that means. For a Instagram user, link in bio means there is more information, there is a direct source in the biography of the page I'm looking at that tells me how to go and buy this or do this, right? Could be that you're promoting an event. So, but the idea is we're talking about sales here. You show an Instagram post with pictures of pet products and you put it link in bio and then send people back to your Facebook shop to buy, send people to your e-commerce site to buy. It's just another tool to use. Shoppable post, you need a Shopify page, you need what they call an in-platform page, you need a Facebook shop, or link in bio directs somebody to your e-commerce site, to your Facebook shop, to somewhere to buy. So LinkedIn, link in bio, I'm good. Instagram is a huge, huge platform. All of the key here is, let me go back real quick. I'm looking at time, okay. So in all of these cases, Instagram is saying shoppable posts. Click here, we'll send you to buy something, right? Shoppable stories. Click here, we'll send you to buy something. Link in bio. Click here, we'll get you to send you away. That's the, oh, perfect. That's my reminder. The key here is they're sending you away from that feed. Next up, which is why you need to get here sooner rather than later, Instagram will have Instagram checkout. Not available today for mainstream businesses. It's being tested, but just like Facebook, they want to keep you there. They're smart at this. They want to do revenue. So down the road, there's going to be Instagram checkout. You'll check out right from there. You'll make a payment and you'll be able to stay and continue scrolling, watching stories. So if you're not focused on Instagram today for your pet business, I urge you, it is a huge social selling tool and can be very powerful for your pet business to drive sales. Imagine you're like, oh my God, I can't do all this. I hear you. But remember that conversation we had about a social salesperson and their job and driving revenue for your business was based on what your social media content, shoppable content look like. Now you start to see it needs to become a priority. Certainly from right now, we're in an emergency, area. People can't shop like they used to. Down the road, they're going to want to shop this way. So sooner rather than later. I don't want to spend a lot of time, but I want to make sure you understand. If you are using Pinterest right now, it's absolutely same thing. You can build the same conversation. You can tag your pins and have them link in bio to click somewhere to buy. You can tag your pins and say direct sell. So Instagram absolutely is a tool. Pinterest, I apologize. Pinterest is a tool that you can use for social. If you are skewing a little bit younger, certainly messaging apps like WhatsApp are a direct tool to buy. You can contact them directly. You can send them links. You can post in your WhatsApp. If you're not familiar with WhatsApp, messaging is short snippets of information and it can be a selling tool. There's some references slides here, which I'm going to breeze through because I want to make sure to save time for questions. But what I want to make sure you hear me say that we spent a lot of time talking about that display, that window display being good looking. Please understand it's about what the posts look like. So the better they are, the better they look, the more attraction and the more engagement you're going to get. Here's another tool that I think you may want to start to utilize. This has not been something that small pet businesses have gone after, but using an influencer, which is somebody that already has a following to help you sell products for your pet store. And an influencer can be a local person who loves pets. Maybe it's someone that doesn't compete. Maybe it's a veterinarian who's well known. Maybe it's just a pet influencer and someone who actually just loves your store. I gave the example before. It could be somebody, you know, you sell shampoos. Maybe it's a groomer that you partner with. Maybe it's just somebody who's a mini celebrity who happens to have dogs in town. Maybe it's the mascot of the fire station who everybody in town knows. So it doesn't have to be a big 100,000, you know, person that has 100,000 followers. It can be somebody that has 5,000 followers in your town that's just really well known. That's the value of an influencer. They can, when I call it micro influencer, somebody who is really connected to your community, whether that's your town or your shop, and somebody who can help you. And the way that they would help you and the way you would use an influencer is simple, is this way. You would give them maybe free products, you would give them gift certificates, you would you know, promote an event that they were running, you would negotiate what that was. And then what they do is you allow them to talk in their voice about your business to their followers. So it's authentic because it comes from a trusted source, and that person is talking about your pet business. And that immediately says, hey, these 5,000 people who might not have known about your pet business, this woman's name is Kristen, so I'm just picking. Kristen's followers, 5,000 of them, live local. She's a local person around your community. You might even know her, but she's got this following because she does ... If she talks about her pet and how she uses your pet products, and maybe specifically talk, you know, about products, Kristen's followers say, oh, I didn't know X pet store existed. Let me go look at them. Kristen's helping you link people who you would not have access to normally, or who haven't met you so far, to her business. And here's a perfect example. This is another influencer, and this person is promoting this box, right? This pet is promoting this box here. All right. I feel like I'm going to run out of time here. Chris, I should have waited. Let me just give you some ideas. I talked about Instagram stories. And again, you can read through this. But when I think about Instagram stories, people are like, what do I talk about? Very simply, how to do something, how to put something together, how to transition a dog or a cat or a fish to new food, how to put together a toy, how to deliver a supplement. That's a how-to, and a sequential story. 5 to 7 videos, pictures, that's a story. User-generated content. Ask for pictures, videos, answers to questions. Take a poll in your Instagram story. That is user-generated content. Behind the scenes. You may not feel that way, especially these days. People love what you do. In your community, they want to see how you do it. That is a great Instagram story. Another good one, we talked about selling, time-sensitive offers. Just for you, when the story goes away, the deal is off. A lot of people are using, in my client's world, we're using deals of the day. That coincides with the 24 hours of the Instagram story, deal of the day. But you got to tell people about it, don't forget. And again, a special announcement, something. We just launched our Facebook shop. Boom, big news. That's a great Instagram story. Want to make your stories fun? There's a ton of apps to do it. I'm impervious to all of these. I just think they're really good tools. I don't have a favorite. I know that they work. You choose your favorites. And then I just want to make sure I leave you with where we are here. Calls to action is about telling people to do something. You're asking people to buy. But before you ask them to buy, you have to make sure they like you. And that's consistently being there. That's being that community member and being helpful, right? What's your hashtag? Mine is hashtag we're in this together. And you might use that same one too, right? We're all experiencing what's our new normal. And if you're asking people for their money, you have to make sure that you make it valuable for them, not for you, but for them. And yes, I'm a consultant, and I'm telling you when I'm asking you to do this, what's the measurement? That new salesperson, how are they doing? What kind of revenue are they generating? It's you just starting out. How many people am I getting to watch my videos? How many people are liking? How many people are following? How many qualified leads am I getting? How many sales? I started this week, and next week I got 5 sales. Great. Now how do I build on that? What were the best posts? What were the best content I put out there? Let me put more of it out there and grow from 5 to 10 sales. It's a measurement piece. A month ago, I would have said, think about doing this. Today, I'm going to tell you it's going to be required, right? I started and I'm ending with, we are changing as consumers are going to change because of this, whether they're afraid or whether it's become more convenient. And your job as a marketer for your business is to go where your customers are and to make it easy for your customers to shop. Okay, I'm here to help. As I said, we're all in this together. If you need anything, please let me know. I'm going to leave time for questions, but I want to leave this slide up so that you know when the next sessions are. Maybe we started a couple minutes late. I can answer 1 or 2 questions. I don't know. You guys tell me. Chris, Celeste, what do you think?
All right, we have a couple of questions. This should be a quick one. How do we accept payment for products on Facebook Shop in Canada? And I guess we could open that up to other countries that may use a different currency.
So PayPal Canada would be one. The other is you can go to Interac, right? I happen to be married to a Canadian, so you can set up an Interac link. You also may want to look at taking credit cards. So I happen to take credit cards for our services, and I know when I'm up in Canada, obviously I can do that as well. So those would be my 2 places to go and start to look.
Great. And one last question, unless another pops up in the next couple minutes. I believe we have some manufacturers who are joining us today, and they were curious to know if there are ways that the manufacturers can help promote the individual retailers and their social marketing campaigns.
Oh, can I just spend 30 seconds on this? It is critical for the manufacturers here. Please give these stores content. Give them these images that we're talking about on your Facebook page. Give them, $20, $25, $50 of co-op advertising money so they can promote your products via their stores. Think of it as an end cap, an online end cap. What kind of promotions can you give them? What kind of pricing? How do they feature your products? Give them those promotions already put together. Here it is. Click and, lock and loaded. It's ready to go. Just insert it and play it. Tell them how it works. Help them run a contest. Tell them what you're going to do in terms of product. The easier you make it for these retailers, and I'm sure the retailers on here are like, yes, yes, please. Make it easy, make it simple, and just give them the whole thing. Here you go. Here is an Instagram post that is created and ready for you and shoppable, and we will offer you, this offer that we talked about on an Instagram story. Give them products to make an offer on. And the simpler you make it and the easier you make it for them to implement, the more of them that will adopt it. Huge fan. Happy to help you with that. So reach out to me specifically. I have very strong opinions about that. And I would say to you, manufacturer versus retailer, retailers want these things from you. So please do it. Okay. Whew, got it in.
All right, Lynn. Last, I'm going to jump back in here. Thank you so much. Again, another fabulous webinar. These are really so beneficial to all of us and the stores and the manufacturers and the distributors as we work through these challenging times. We look forward to your webinar next week, Creating Customer Loyalty That Lasts, Educate, Inform, and Entertain to Build Long-Term Loyalty. And again, all these webinars are being recorded, and you can get them under the Seminars tab at globalpetexpo.org. And thank you all for participating and those that will listen later. And on behalf of PIDA and APPA, we're wishing you all continued success and good health. Thanks again, and we'll talk to you next week.
Thanks, everybody.